Here they come, clickety-clack down the track. It's lots and lots of trains.
Back in the days before streaming services, a lot of people had cable. This was how most people consumed their content. You'd sign with a cable provider and they'd send some dude to your house to mount a UFO on your roof. The result was a vast sea of channels and countless hours of media to consume. However, these shows wouldn't be the only thing that viewers such as yourself would consume. In order for these services to really make money, they sold ad space on their platforms, which shouldn't really be anything too unfamiliar. This meant that in the middle of watching your favorite episode of Codename Kids Next Door, it'd fade to black and you'd be met with this.
Make the gray skies go away when you say
We've all watched a commercial or two in our day, whether we've liked it or not. More often than not, your show fading to black was a cause for annoyance. You'd have to wait like a minute and a half until it came back on, and these ads were unskippable. Ugh. Granted, these commercial breaks would be kinda useful in a way, because it gave you time to do stuff like go to the bathroom, make pizza rolls, grab a blanket, make more pizza rolls. However, sometimes you already felt cozy and you didn't feel the need to move, so you were subjected to watch these things. And you know, some of these commercials were bad, but others weren't so bad, and regardless of how good it was, some of these commercials are firmly planted in my mind to this very day. It kinda makes me wonder what potential knowledge my brain's missing out on just because it's filled to the brim with shit like this. And what better place to start than with the good old-fashioned Tootsie Pop ad? I mean, come on, you know the one. I'd be hard-pressed to meet anyone that hears someone utter the words, Mr. Owl, and not start shaking a little because you're suddenly pondering how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. This ad is so simple, and that's really where it gets its charm. Also, can we just take a minute to highlight how much of an asshole Mr. Owl is? Like, this kid has come into this anthropomorphic owl in good faith because he's seeking knowledge. And what does this guy do? This man takes this candy from him, a child, and says, let's find out. As if he doesn't know what he's about to do. And, well, you know the rest. Also, as I'm editing this, I'm realizing there were more animals in this commercial. This thing was edited down over the years. This is literally blowing my mind right now. Like, this commercial is so ingrained in my mind as the shortest version, and there's more animals. Like, what? Anyways, any of y'all ever eat Chef Boyardee? I gotta say, I didn't really eat much of it as a kid, so I don't have a ton of nostalgia for it in that regard, but boy do I have it for this commercial. For me, this is the quintessential nostalgic commercial, which I'm sure varies from person to person. Every aspect of this commercial is nostalgic for me. The intro with the mom saying, not tonight, you've had Chef every night this week, to the little girl saying, but I love Chef. And you hear the music subtly slide in, only for the can to go whoop. Then you're served this amazing journey of this can finding its way to this house, which makes you think, how did it know where these people live? But that's not the point. And right when you think this thing couldn't possibly cement itself into your brain any further, it hits you with this final musical sting, which just makes you sit there and think, boy, this stuff is good. Oh, and we haven't even talked about the copious amounts of commercials trying to sell stuff, specifically the stuff marketed towards kids. Even more specifically, animal stuff. Sure, a lot of you probably remember Pillow Pets changing the game. It's a pillow, it's a pet, yeah. And of course, Stuffies made you wonder how much stuff you could stuff in your stuffy till your stuffy stuffed enough stuff. But of all the animal-related knickknacks, there's definitely one that reigns supreme. Some people might look at Zoo Pals and think that they're just plates with animal faces. And they'd be right. That's exactly what they are. But as a kid watching this back in 2005, Zoo Pals were so much more. It's honestly kind of bizarre how cool I thought these things were as a kid. Like, they were literally just fun plates, but I was like, yo, that's going on my Christmas list. Even in retrospect, the commercial doesn't seem like anything super out of the ordinary. Just a fun and simple set of disposable plates marketed towards kids with its own song. Pretty run-of-the-mill stuff. I never actually ended up getting any Zoo Pals. I mean, are they even still around? Okay, upon further inspection, these things are not still being made, but if you're in the market for some and you got a fat wallet, you can find some on eBay that are still packaged after all these years, which actually makes me really happy. Speaking of trying to sell things to children that look cool but aren't really that cool, let's talk about Fushigi.
You're about to be mesmerized. It's here. It's wild. It's sweeping the nation. It's Fushigi!
The Fushigi commercial is one of the best scam commercials you've ever seen. It's coined as the magic gravity ball, and they really went for it with this ad. Sure, it's goofy, but even now I still look at some of the tricks in that commercial and I'm like, yo, that shit's kind of cool. So you can imagine the sheer astonishment I was in when I saw this as an impressionable 6-year-old. Thank God I never got one of these things though, because I think it would have just ruined me. I can only imagine the countless number of kids who got this and were super excited only to open the box, take the ball out, and just immediately drop it. The people in this commercial make it look so effortless because they practiced and perfected it. They market it like any Joe Schmo could just take it out of the box and do this. It's basically like if I was trying to sell a skateboard to someone that's never heard of one, and all I'm showing them is a Tony Hawk highlight reel. Sure, they'll get excited to buy one, but do you think they're gonna be doing some sick kickflips right out of the box? No, they're immediately gonna eat shit. There were also songs. So many songs. If you want to market anything, and I mean anything, just make a song to go with it. It doesn't even have to be very good. It just has to be somewhat memorable. Of course, you got your Reese's Puffs Kid, and that's always a fun one, but my all-time favorite song in a commercial has to be the one for Education Connection. What can I say? It's kind of a bop. You listen to it and tell me otherwise. I mean, sure, did I ever sign up for it? No. But I still remember the songs, so they did something right, I guess. There's so many nostalgic commercials from my childhood that I just can't even cover them in one video. It'd take too long. I'd be here for like over an hour, and nobody wants that. Unless you do. In which case I got a whole laundry list of questions. But if you happen to make it this far, I appreciate you watching my video. Also, what are some of your favorite nostalgic commercials? I'd love to hear which ones are still stuck in your head after so many years. Now, while you do that, I'm gonna look into getting a loan.